and welcome to another episode of More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily podcast, where we help you build a thriving business. With me, an Angelova business coach and consultant, and my favorite co-host, Jores Minasvand, a business consultant. Hey, Jores.
Hey Anna, how are you? Happy Thursday.
Doing very, very well, and interested to hear our conversation today. And I'm saying this because like, this is not pre-recorded, this is not pre-transcribed or anything like this. We don't have any kind, even pointers or anything like this. We just have a conversation. So what we're discussing today is, especially when you're starting your business, how do you decide between having a fixed price and charging custom price, like based on who you're talking with. And
Mm.
this one, especially when you're thinking about like, starting the business in the early stages, when you might do work for pennies, just to get the experience, just to get in front of the people, just to get the use case, right? Not use case, but the case, like the case study, the review, right? Just to get that this person did this for me, it was fantastic. You might do things even for free. Now, we're not talking about free, of course, we're talking about like payment. And I would start with saying that, like, in the beginning, yes, like, it's good to have an understanding of this is how much it is, especially when like we're talking about offering some kind of a service. And even if you're offering a product, like you might also like do the same thing. Like definitely have a price, something that you know, like this is how much it is. However, stay open, stay open to being able to charge less or more. Like stay open to negotiations, because again, especially when you are starting, like it's more about really validating that the idea it makes sense, that it's a good business idea, that there is a need, that your solution makes sense. It's more about the experience, it's more about getting the feedback, it's more about getting those reviews, and um, doing for the few what you can't do for the many. And this might mean that those first few people can pay you less, but then it might mean that they pay more because they get more of your time, they get more of your personal attention. So I would say absolutely yes. Have a price, know the price, but do it more of an open in a way where like it's not a set price that everyone pays this thing. Have it more as a conversation when you talk with people, and this will also see as you work with different people, as you get to deliver your product or service to different segments of your audience, you might see that, this segment looks like the price is like $50, but this segment is willing to pay 150. And I like working with these people more. So maybe these are the people who I want to focus on. And having that flexibility in the beginning, like the custom pricing in the beginning, really helps you learn more. And like one of the things that they're saying about like building a business nowadays, that like the faster we learn, the better. Like this is a constant cycle of learning of what's going on, what are the needs of our customers, and yeah, this is where I know I talked a lot, but and I see you, Joris, you look very thoughtful, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the subject.
I think pricing is optional, and when we're talking about optional, it's optional on both sides, like you mentioned. As a new business owner, new starter, you choose to, especially if it's a service, you choose to open more doors. So you say it's a fixed price, it's this much, and this is what you get. And it's not about free stuff, it's about you investing more of your time into giving the customer more value to in return of what you mentioned, the referral or the testimonial. So uh, when it comes to customers, I find that there are literally like a 50, not 50-50, but literally there are two types of customers. One type, they are more conservative. They want to know exactly what they're going to pay, so they come and ask you for a fixed price. So you give them a fixed price, they feel safe, they know exactly what they're getting. The other cost is, and it's exactly, I compare these to investment, right? There are, you invest in Dow Jones or is an index like S&P 500. You know it's going to grow over the next 10 years, like real estate, right? You know what you're getting. It's a steady increase, but it's very small. Same thing with fixed price. You know what you're getting. It's fixed. Every month you're going to get, pay X amount of dollars and you're going to get the product for it. Time and material is more volatile, but if you, as a customer, or your customer is very uh, able and you're giving them time and material, they have a chance of, if they cooperate with you, they have a chance of getting the work done faster. And in time and material, that means the project ends earlier. And don't worry about this because most people think, oh, if I have $130,000 contract and I finish it at 100,000, that $30,000 is lost. Absolutely not. And this is an absolute guarantee that at the end, if you do a good job, the customer will say, okay, out of 130,000, I did it at 100. That's 30% savings. If I work with this guy and get him to spend the other $30,000, 34,000, I'm gonna get another 30% value out of this. So they will 100% come back and say, oh, by the way, let's go to phase two. Let's add A, B, C, and D. At the end, you're gonna end up charging the same 134,000, but maybe for more work. But you see where this is headed, right? Now your customer wants to work with you. Now your customer understands. So the other thing is that if you're going, and this is the customer already knows this, and if you haven't done it, you will lose. When anyone quotes a fixed price, you put a 20 to 25% contingency there. The customer knows it, you know it, but if that's what they want to pay, it's like insurance for them. They want to pay that insurance. They want to know exactly what they're going to pay for it. So, and you have to be very, very good at estimating because if you estimate the wrong way, you add 20% and you're still off by 40%, then you're in trouble. So, but over time you will learn. As it, when the question comes, which one? Ask your customer. Most of the time, they tell you their preference.
Uh, oh yeah, like asking again, like we mentioned it yesterday, that sometimes we forget about the simple things. We like asking. The other thing, as you were sharing, like you said about estimates, especially when you have a fixed price, like a fixed package with estimates, knowing how things go, especially when you are doing some kind of work for people. This is where the other consideration comes in. What you do, how predictable and consistent is it? Is it like clicking a few buttons and like you know that it's 10 hours of work no matter what, and like there's no deviation, this is it. Then they could say you can go towards a fixed price, and they could really say this is what it is. But if it's really volatile, if you have no idea what the scope would be of the work and things like this, then and again, especially when you are starting, you might not know. Like you might not know even where your focus, where you want your focus to be. So you might actually have a scope with someone where the scope is very small, but then someone else where like it's double that scope or triple that scope. So of course, like in that case, like it's not a fix, like it's a completely different work you're doing. So this is the other thing to consider with your business as you're starting and the work that you will be doing. And again, this really applies more to service, like when you have a service business. This is where it's thinking about how systemized, how predictable it is what you do, And if it is relatively stable, predictable, and you know that this is it, yes, there might be some things that you might need to do in a different way or spend a little bit more time on, but more or less, this is what it is. The fixed approach makes sense. And when it's a fixed approach, of course, like it simplifies things a little bit because you have that this is the price, this is what it is. Yours, like you said, your customers know what they're getting into and like what they're paying, what they're getting from this. So it's fantastic. Where it's a custom quote, like if we're talking about custom quotes, like fixed price, like not fixed price, sorry, the one you mentioned about time and material, I just want to mention like if you are just starting and you don't know what it is, like time and material is ultimately you charge per the hour. Like we are saying that this is the estimate. The estimate, it's not a fixed project, like it's not 130,000. It's time and material, where our estimate is that it's 130,000 because we will need whatever 1,000 hours. But you might finish it in 900 hours and you're left with whatever you're left, like the 13,000 or something you're left with. So if we're saying like it's $130 per hour, so this is time and material that just in case you don't know, this is what it is. Like it's you still estimate it, like you still give an estimate that this is how much it will take in terms of time and material. But then you might, and of course, time and material, like in service, it's usually time, but it's time and material because sometimes it also be the material, right? Like you might to have something that like in the online world, this might be consumption, might be licenses, things like this that you need to incorporate in whatever you're doing, mm, which is a bit of a side note with the thing. But yeah, this is what I actually wanted to share. That really depends. Again, it really depends as you're starting. It really depends on how simple or complex is what you're trying to do. And I would still recommend uh, having at least some kind of a package in mind because people, this is one of the other things that a lot of people feel good about knowing that you as the expert, you know what you're talking about and you know that, okay, this is it, like this is the package, this is how much it costs, this is how much time it takes. But because you're starting and you might actually not even have that understanding yet, that's why it might be a really good idea, at least as you in the beginning, as you're exploring even different customer segments, to go more of the route of exploring and seeing, okay, like the custom quote for this, custom quote for this one. And yeah, I think that this is the main thing that I wanted to add. There was something else, but when I remember it, I will mention it.
A couple of items you mentioned about scope. It's important to have, I think it's important for both, but more important for fixed price to have a very clear scope and a very clear out of scope. Not only identify what you deliver, but you also identify what you do not deliver, what will not be included. And this is a bit counterintuitive, but if you, for your protection, include this part. The second part, and again, for the fixed price, this is a lot more important. If for a fixed price uh, project, you don't have a page of assumptions, one whole page of assumptions, there's something wrong. You need to stop. Don't get that signed. You need to understand the solution you have to, and what assumptions do is tell your customer, read this thing, and if the customer says no, this is not what this assumption is incorrect, then your scope is incorrect or your out of scope is incorrect. So it's very important to have this like listed, like what's in scope, what's out of scope. Some people even go one step further, which I've only done a few times, but it's extremely um, time consuming to, but if it's like a important contract, include a success criteria where bullet by bullet explains what the customer will accept, what the customer will sign off on what would render this project uh, successful, because there's a lot of customers that would deliberately delay your payment throughout the fixed price to make sure that they get what you told them, and at the end they can dispute if you delivered what they wanted and not pay you. So these contracts, especially fixed price, have to be very, very, very ironclad, and you need to be careful. Those four areas are must have.
Oh, great points. Oh, great points. And so, in terms of consideration, just to sum things up a little bit, how complex is it, right? If it's a work that is pretty straightforward and you know what's going on, you can go with fixed package. And when you go with fixed package, of course, like Joris, everything you mentioned with the assumptions, even success criteria, like what success looks like, absolutely, it could be very clear with this. Mm. And with fixed price, the thing is that uh, in a way it shows that like, some people feel comfortable with this. It shows that you know what you're doing. This is the package, and this is the solution. That's it. With the custom quotes, whether it's time and material or some other way of deciding on the custom quote, this is where, especially when you're starting, like it gives you an opportunity to learn. It gives you an opportunity to see what's the upper limit. What are people willing to pay for these? Different segments are willing to pay for these. It gives you an opportunity to expand or limit the scope so you can see what you want to focus on, what makes sense for you to keep on offering as part of your business. So there's no right or wrong answer. You can explore both. You can try either way. You can try. Uh, I do think that in the beginning it makes sense to be open to negotiate and to be open to offer custom quotes based on like the different needs of the different clients, because again in the beginning most likely the work you'll be doing is more like what you do for the few you don't do for the many. It would be things that don't scale. It would be a lot of your time. It would be a lot of your effort. So it makes sense to start with the custom quotes. It makes sense to start with the this way, and then as you gain experience, as you hone in on, okay, this looks like the segment that you want to focus on, then you can actually package something and have it at a fixed price where like this is the package, this is what I'm offering, this is the price, and like you said, Joris, this is the scope, this is out of scope. And make your life easier and a little bit streamlined.
Fantastic, fantastic. Very well put, Anna. Love our conversations.
Yeah, me too. Now it's time to wrap up as we are recording this. It's already past 6 p.m. and end of the day. We both had full day. So thank you, Joris. Another great conversations, like you said. And for you, if you are listening this and you're wondering, how do I decide on the price? Do I decide on these packages? I need more help. Well, our community and our Launch 360 course is coming up very, very soon. So I will add the link to the waitlist for you if you didn't get a chance to join the waitlist. So you are one of the first to get notified when the doors open. The doors will be opening very, very soon. And it's a community and a course where we help aspiring business owners to start successful businesses. And like whether you want to start something like a brick and mortar, like a bakery or a restaurant, or you want to build a SaaS product, our goal is to empower visionary founders, visionary leaders who want to build a successful business, a successful small, medium-sized business if you have ambitions to build a big corporation, absolutely, this might be for you as well. Like we love ambitious founders as well. Like people who strive for the stars and want to get into like the unicorn world, absolutely. But it's really about building a business that makes sense, a business that makes sense for your life, a business that makes sense for where you want to be and the difference you want to make into the world. So, if it's something that you've been looking into, if you need more answers after all the like the whole conversations we had, check the wait list, like check the description of the community. We would love to see your name in there. And we will be back tomorrow with the last episode for this week, like the last conversation for this week, where we introduce a topic. And it's one of our favorite acronyms out there. How can you use AI without replacing the human touch?
Oh, AI, agentic AI, agent.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. 5 years, right? Right.
5 years, 5 years, we're done. We're all dead. We go on a beach and sit down, AI will take over. It's such a fallacy. Yeah, in 2015, they said EVs will take over by 2019. We're 11 years from 10 years from 2015, 6 years from 2019, and they canceled all the EVs, and we're going to hybrids and big engine ICE engines. Anyways, I rant.
AI is tomorrow. AI is tomorrow. I'll let you rant in the episode tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Anna. Have a good day.
Thanks, Jonas. You too. Bye.
Bye.